Welcome everybody to this top 10 best Iyashikei anime. My name is Misty / Chronexia, and this might be a term you've never heard in your life, because you're not a weeb like myself. No, seriously, not every knowledge is good knowledge, but while you're here, let me contaminate you. Iyashikei is a type of anime you could literally translate to healing anime. While that make you jumps to straight up medical show, God do I wish that was a thing. No, the thing is more healing of the soul. Those are shows that get you that feel-good vibe, lovable character in blissful setting that just seep out relaxation. You know the term Netflix and chill? Well, it's actually Iyashikei and chill. Yeah, trust me, I'm a reliable source on the internet. But before we go in, oh yeah, you guessed it, we got another sponsor! Don't worry, this one is cool. This episode was sponsored by Buff Studio, who made the MyWizards game on Android and iOS. It's a super popular game. It's an app that goes right in with the feel-good vibe. Download it and you land on your personal island. It's an incremental clicker game, get hearts, improve the oasis, rinse and repeat to a very soothing soundtrack. Mid-game you get various interactions such as inspirational quotes, those genuinely put a smile on my face, stuff like don't let the darkness take over, and be kind to one another. You can make your own musical composition or simply focus on increasing your island. It's a super cool passive game I tried and I felt it was the perfect spirit for today's video. You go in, get some improvement, go relax to the cool soundtrack while you wait for the bus. Me think it's a pretty fun game to have on the go. But if you're in for anime, I got you covered too. With this list, let's go!
さあ、よろしければ今夜も神のグラスをご一緒に。
Number 10, Bartender. Nothing like kicking off this list with listening to drunk people tell you about their problems. You'd think it's a hassle, but this anime handles it incredibly well. The story is about Ryu Sasakura, who's a genius bartender. No, go with it. So people come to him to taste his godlike drinks. At the same time, he listens to their plea and for good counseling. He's kind of the Sebastian of Black Butler. The anime will slide you some valuable life insight on the side for those of you who will be listening between the lines. And for everything else, there's MasterCard. That joke didn't work. The anime is short, 11 episodes, although I doubt it's really something people will dive into binge watch, but once in a while, after a hard week, it's a great show to sit and unwind at.
なぜバーテンダーと医師がお客様を裏切ってはいけないのか。それはどちらもレシピ一つで毒にも薬にもなるものを売っているからです。
Number 9, Kemono Friends. Darn, talk about a show I badly misjudged when it first came out at the beginning of 2017. I saw the first 3 episodes and thought it was an absolute mess. CGI, which I usually love, felt clunky and blocky. The voice acting was subpar and I just wrote it off as an inconsequential kid show. But boy was I wrong. If you go in, prepared to sit through the whole adventure, and if you do, you'll find out about Japari Part, a Safari-like paradise where Kaban, a young girl, finds herself lost with no memory and no identity. She makes new friends along the way while attempting to learn more about herself. Prepare your feels, cause they're about to get touched in their no-no place. But hey, maybe you're into that. We don't kink shame here.
Kaba! 珍しいわね、サーバル。私に大口勝負を挑むなんて、いい度胸してますわね。チトさん見てください。4月なのにこんなに残ってます。
Number 8, Flying Witch. If those last 2 titles didn't appeal to you, I hope this one will be more up your alley. Flying Witch is a story about the upbringing of Makoto, a 15-year-old witch who, according to tradition, has to leave her family home and go live with some relative to attune her skills and spells. While she is still attending high school on the side, she focused mainly on her training as a witch. The show is quite endearing, and since it was released in 2016, I've heard nothing but praises about it. However, I do have to warn you off, if you go in expecting a lot of fancy magic and explosion, you'll be disappointing. It's not the goal of the anime, it's more about finding oneself with some magical flavor to it.
ねえ、もしかして魔女ってほうきに乗って学校行くの？やめてやめて。変なことに巻き込まないでよ。大丈夫。ここ。そう。いいところでしょ。うん。それで、あそこが私が働くところ。
Number 7, Tsuritama. Wow, Tsurutama is such an underrated gem. I'll do my best to try and sell it to you in a few lines, but trust me, this is one you don't want to miss out on. The whole appeal of the anime is about Yuki, a teenager with a lot of social anxiety. When he has to speak in front of people, he freezes almost as if he was drowning. Since he moves out a lot, he has trouble making lasting friends, that is until he finds his way to Enoshima and meet with Haru, a weird boy who claims to be an alien. He forces himself onto Yuki, and for the first time Yuki finds himself having a friend. You have to try it out, even more so if you as well struggle a lot with social anxiety. The way they portray it may help you a ton, possibly even cure it. I gotta recommend this show as one of the truest Iyashikei out there. Number 6. Non Non Biyori. Similarly to Flying Witch, Non Non Biyori is a show that shines in its simplicity. A 5th grader from Tokyo with a very mature take on the world moves into the countryside and learns to bond with her fellow classmates, 2 siblings, and renge. No, seriously, there's no other way to describe it. The show is warm fuzzies and waiting, kid going on adventure in a very honest way. The comedy is delightful and you genuinely won't get enough of it. If you enjoy the cast of Maid Dragon, or the synergy between the characters in K-On!, or even the wackiness in Nichijou, you'll get it all in Non Non Biyori as a good mashed together. It looks like a girly kid show, but it's nothing like that. Number 5, Kobato. I gotta be honest about this one. At first glance, this anime got on my nerves. Kobato was an adorable, enjoyable girl, but the dog was irritating me. He was forceful, rude, and genuinely clashed with the whole essence that Kobato was. But eventually it's gonna grow on you. The anime follows an alien girl who came to Earth and she's on a quest to heal people's heart. But doing so, she gets a tiny candy-like gem called Kobato. She has to fill up a bottle full before she can return, but her condition clearly states she's not allowed to fall in love with anyone she heals. And of course she's a woman, so she's wow, sexist much? Anyway, find out more by checking it out. You'd be surprised at how deep the show can get. Number 4, Barakamon. I'm hoping this one is an anime you haven't seen yet because it is one of a kind type of soul pilgrimage that you'll want to take on. The anime is fairly short, it's 12 episodes long, and it's the story of Handa Seishu, an up-and-coming calligrapher with a pretty big ego. He loses his school after a pretty severe critique of one of his work and therefore gets banished to a remote island to reflect on himself and his action. The story has a lot of endearing characters that you can relate to, and the cast does a wonderful job portraying them. If you want a show that will make you reflect on your personal self, you might want to consider this one. I'll back it up any day of the week, it is awesome. Number 3, Aria the Animation. I've talked about Aria on multiple occasions by now, so if you've seen it on my other top 10s, or you've actually watched it, this might be a mute entry for you. The anime is about 3 female gondolier tour guides and their mascot. They set off to explore their fantastic world and they take you along for the ride. This show came out in 2005. I know when you gotta go back to the 3x4 era, some people lose interest, but I can't come up with a more soothing entry to recommend to people. The show is light, no stress, you enjoy the scenery, you take in the atmosphere, and you come out a cleaner and better person at the end. Anyway, that's how I felt about it. I hope you can reach that feeling too.
このミラクルがいっぱいの星アクアに来たんだから。
おー、夏目、あれはなんだ。あの丸いのはスイーツなのか。買ってくれ、スイーツ。
もうダメだって先生。
スイーツ。
あ、ほら、あそこの。
Number 2, Natsume Yujincho. You know, as a kid, my mother used to say, "Stop complaining, some kids have it way rougher than you." And while that was a pretty tough thing to relate to as a kid, since knowing someone had a shittier experience than me didn't solve my current problem at the time, I would say Natsume is that kid she was referring to. No parents, no loving home, and a pretty heavy curse that literally haunts him. Sounds like Harry Potter. But no, actually, Natsume Yujincho is a story about a child who can see spirits and does his best to help them move on. Still sounds like Harry Potter. He has a talking cat. Yeah, I think that's different. That helps him along the way, but otherwise that's it. Just a kid doing kind deeds for everyone. Well worth its, now what, 6 seasons? Oh yeah. Attaboy.
変わった人の子だ。レイコと同じ姿なのに、ただ笑っていたレイコと違って表情がコロコロ。
だから本当の真っ暗闇が欲しいとき、そのチカチカを見ている目玉をもう一度閉じるの。
And finally, number 1, Mushishi. I don't think anyone can argue on how well Mushishi did its world building. Within the first episodes, you're tossed into a whole different universe. In this world, all life is inhabited by what they call Mushi. Those are simple beings, pure to their core, enjoy mimicking the stuff around them, and that's what Ginkgo, a traveling Mushi master who does his best to understand their purpose, is all about. I think it's fair to say everyone who's seen this anime entirely appreciate every ounce of its being, and myself included. I'm gonna give it a good old stamp of recommendation. No, I've used all 4 already. Yeah, can we add a 5th one? Well, I guess that would lose their meaning if I stem them all. Oh well, here's a participation trophy. That's all the entries I wanted to talk about today. If you're having a rough week, and well, with what's been going on YouTube in the past couple of days, that's entirely understandable. Consider checking out some of those titles. They'll hopefully bring back a smile on your face. And don't forget to check out the My Oasis game on iOS and Android. A great thanks again to Buff Studio, who sponsored this video. It might not mean a lot to you guys, but for me it's a big deal. It's a very clean and uplifting game with awesome soundtrack and motivational quotes. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. It did stroke my fancy and I thought it was a cool game to share. I hope you'll like it half as much as I did. But with that said, thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you real soon next time. Cue the cool outro music.
Through the hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.